welcome to Geeky Girls Journal. Thank you for tuning in with us today. I'm so glad that you decided to make us a part of your day. Hopefully, we are going to make it just a little bit brighter or a whole lot brighter, I'm sure. Well, I'm going to get right to the topic because today we have a special guest, and I'm sure that if you all have seen the thumbnail, some of you know her. She is definitely very near and dear to my heart. So I won't even say a friend to the channel because she's more than a friend. But for those of you who don't know her, you are in for a treat today. I'm going to, allow you to get a chance to get to know her a little bit more. And you know what? Today, although the conversation is going to be how do you know you have a good friend, we are going to dive into it, and we're also going to kind of just casually talk. So kick your feet up and get ready. I am going to introduce you to the magnificent. You know what? Sometimes I have a difficult time trying to introduce her because I know her so well. But I just want to tell you something about her. She's a thespian. She is a voice actress. She is a mama extraordinaire, an auntie. She's like one of those big sister aunts that you wish you had in your life. And I have one, so that's her. So, hey, Butterell, how are you? So, without further ado, I am going to introduce to some of you and then reintroduce to the rest of you Star Ridley, who is Black Mermaid. She is an author, and I don't feel like I can do her any justice. So, I'm going to let her come on and tell you a little bit more about herself. Are you all ready for her? All right, we're going to bring her in. Let's get ready. It's Star. All right, let's bring her. Let's bring her in. Bring her.
Oh my
Hey!
God. Was that an introduction or like, what you'd say at my funeral?
I know. You know what? I started to have the kids' microphone, so we should be back
Oh
now.
no. I can't.
Hello. Yeah.
Well,
So
that was just really lovely. I mean, you blew
okay.
me up.
Thank you. It's
Uh,
the truth. I didn't say anything that wasn't the truth. And welcome
oh,
in
how
everybody
sweet.
that's here. So we have you. You know what? This is the second time within what, a week or like
Yeah.
yeah. So imagine
Might
my
might
surprise.
might be a regular gig now, huh?
I know
Mhm.
because you are a geeky girl.
I'm a
You're a
geeky
geeky girl.
girl. I am
Yes,
definitely an OG geeky girl.
that makes both of us. Definitely an OG geeky girl. So
Oh, Lord.
yes. So why don't you start off by introducing yourself because I don't feel like I did a good job. So
You did a great job. In fact, your introduction was downright scary. Um, I'm just little old me, voice actor and author and poet and all that good stuff. And yes, I am a thespian. She took it way back. Like, oh God. But anyway, I'm just little old me. That's it.
little old black mermaid.
Little old me.
So before we get started, because I want people to know how accomplished you are. I know the last live that you did with us last week. I think the end of last week. Go and check it out. By the way, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But you can find out more about her. I just want her to tell you about her books, her two books, and then where she can be found if you're looking for her. 'Cause I
Oh,
forgot to do that the last time, so we're starting it off right now at the beginning. Where can
I'm
everybody find you if they're listening?
so unprepared. You did not tell me this. You know what? My husband does this to me. He puts me on the spot all the time, and I'm like, I'm not prepared, which I should be, but I'm a little shy. I don't really talk about me.
Right. Well,
So,
that's the truth. That's why
but
I'm here.
yes, there are two. Yeah, I know I need a PR person. There are two books, 22 things men and women should ought not do in relationships, which we will cover some of those topics sometimes. That is on Audible, and iTunes, and that I narrated it. You can also get a hard copy. And then the first novel is Somewhere Over the Rainbow: A Quest for Love, and it's a coming of age story. We'll just put it that way. So,
Yes, yes.
and you can get them on. Oh my gosh, yeah, you put me on the spot. Booklocker, booklocker.com. They're on Amazon. You can order them. Anywhere you just Google, you can find it. It's not that hard.
Just Google her. Google her. You'll find her.
Yes, and I mean, I would have a website, but I'm kind of in betwixt and in between right now because, um, I'm transitioning
Yeah.
into full-fledged voice actor. So,
Yay! We all understand the good transition. I mean, and the pivot and all of that. So,
yeah.
hi, child, please. Can let me just also say before I forget, if you are here and you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe because we have some great things in store for you. We're working on it. And for those of you who are already a part of the family, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for coming back and continuing to support us. We have a treat for you today. So, like I said, kick back, relax, share this out so that other people can see it. You know, they may learn something today. And I know that there are going to be a lot of adults probably in this conversation, but this is a conversation also for millennials and younger, maybe teens, teenage, because they should know how to choose a good friend, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a blueprint for a lot of people who may not be, who may say, "Hey, I'm kind of unsure. Is this
Right.
person a good fit for me? Is that person?" And sometimes it's difficult just to make friends. So we're going to talk about all that today. So we're going to get started. Are you ready, Starra?
I'm ready, Freddie.
All right. So I was just wondering. I thought I'd start with this question because you seem to be a person that, in my opinion, is a very good friend. Um, I've known you my whole life. And what I do know about you is that you are very loyal as a friend and that you have this tendency to be able to brighten up a room wherever you go. And also, yeah, it's all the truth, you guys. And
I need
also,
you in my life.
yeah, see, God knew you needed me, and I needed you. So you also, and I see you do this every time we're together. Like you can walk into a room with strangers, and then you're just, "Hey, how you doing?" But you can just start up a conversation. When we were at my daughter's volleyball game a couple years ago, she just came in, and I was sitting by these people for probably about 10 minutes, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" But I kind of just left it at that. Watched the game. She came in, showed up a whole conversation, and I'm like, "Man, I look terrible because
No, you
I
don't.
talking." But and she's very good at doing that. So with that being said, how do you think you are able to, first of all, let me ask this one question before I go to that one. Do you think you've ever had a good friend or good friends? We'll start there.
Oh, absolutely. So, first of all, that example of me being able to walk into a room is, everybody doesn't have that. And I'm not saying it like it's some superhuman power. It's not. It's just my personality. Period. I was born like this. And there are some people that are. They just can just blend in with whomever. And I'm one of those people. But you don't have to be that extroverted in order to acquire good friends. You don't have to be. Um, I tell you, like my mom always used to say, the Bible said, you want friends, you show yourself friendly.
Friendly.
A smile speaks volumes. You don't have to say anything. And it need be genuine because people are very spiritual beings and they can see through the phoniness. So if you coming in and you smiling like Mr. Sardonicus,
Or if you're coming in
that's
like,
not genuine. Or if it's tight, like you had Botox. No, that
right.
doesn't work.
Or somebody forced you, like
Right.
you
Or if it's
really somebody pushed
forced.
you into it, like, "Hi."
Right. So you want to come in and you want, the feel good vibes to come from the inside. They come out automatically. You just walk in, you're like, hey.
"Hey, how you doing?"
And that starts everything. So that I wanted to just put that out there first because everybody's not going to just talk to strangers. That's me. I've been doing that all my life. It's
Yes,
weird.
I can imagine. It's not weird. I do too. I mean, see, we don't fall too far. We both come from the same tree. So, for those of you who don't know, this is my aunt. Yes, she looks very young because she is. And
Girl, bye.
apple does not fall too far from the tree. So I think that we're in the same family and we pretty much do the same thing. Like we can come in and just say, hey, how you doing? And kind of connect with people. But I had a
Right.
question for people who, because we have people that are introverts, we have people that are ambiverts, we have people that are extroverts. And I was trying to think of a way because I know some introverts. What would be, and I'm getting ahead of myself because I think I want to ask this at the
Not
end.
really. But that's why I said what I said.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a person that's comfortable with opening your mouth. And sometimes not opening your mouth is a good thing.
We
A
might have
smile speaks volumes.
a smile speaks
So
volume.
long as it's genuine, and people will start to talk to you. Sometimes I don't say anything. I just walk in
Yeah,
and I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, how are you?" And then it starts. I didn't say a thing. I didn't say a word. So
that's true. So you're saying that maybe the person who is not as comfortable coming into a room and speaking to everybody can just start with a smile, a nice, genuine smile. And you're right, people will strike up a conversation with you. Have you ever had that experience? I know the answer to this question, but some people may not. Have you ever had the experience, for example, if you walk into a grocery store or something like that, and people, you see someone and you strike a smile, like you say, you don't have to say
I do it
anything.
all the
You smile, and the person talks
time.
back to you.
My smile is usually accommodated by this silly little laugh that you keep hearing. Like, this is my genuine self. Like, I walk in and I'm like, or sometimes if I'm in the grocery store, because I talk out loud to myself a lot. That's kind of weird too, but it's okay. But,
I
I might say, "Oh, ew, this fruit is bad. Do you see this?" And then the person's like, "Yeah, I was thinking the same thing." And then the conversation starts.
like
So,
some conversation.
yeah,
Absolutely. I see some people in the chat. Butter Rose says she's an introvert.
I see
Um,
that.
yeah, child, please. What about you? Are you an introvert, ambivert, extrovert? Ambivert, if you don't know, and I'm not talking to you, child, please, specifically. I'm talking to anybody that watches the video.
You talking to me? What's an ambivert?
What you say? Yeah, an ambivert is somebody who can be introverted and extroverted. I think that
Well, that would be me.
yeah, I'm an ambivert. I feel like I'm becoming a little more of an introvert as I get older, but definitely I when I'm around groups, I can do the same thing. Hi Trish, how you doing? But I can definitely go both ways. I think I've told you all that before. And so if you think you're an ambivert, put it in the chat. An introvert, extrovert, put it over there.
I
So we'll.
I think that's what I am. And people think a lot of times because um I work in the entertainment industry that, "Oh, you're not shy." Yeah. Yes, very much so. It depends on the situation. For example, I'm not shy if I'm asked to go on stage and, play a role of Pookie.
Yeah.
I'm not
No,
shy. I'm just, you know what? I saw New Jack City the other night. I'm sorry. It was the name that came to my head, Pookie.
that's funny.
We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna
So
do
does
that.
everybody know who Pookie is? So you'll know what the point of
Everybody
reference is.
knows who Pookie is, I
Pookie from
think.
New Jack City. Okay.
Anyway, but
You be
I'm not
Pookie.
be calling me. I can't help it. Okay, so I'm not shy if someone right. It depends on the environment for me. Yes.
Yeah.
So if they ask me to do Pookie. I can do Pookie. I ain't, it could be thousands of people in the room and I can do Pookie.
Yeah.
But if they ask me to get up and recite some of my poetry, which is very personal to me, now I'm like, okay, I can do this. Yeah.
That's like Erica Badu said. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my.
Exactly. And specifically with songs, because poetry is another form of lyrics and songs. Most people write about something they've gone through or someone that they know has gone through, and it's very, very personal.
Yeah.
So when I'm asked to share very, very personal things, such as my poetry, I'm like, yeah, you're not shy. Yeah, at this moment I am.
Yeah.
There we go.
Adrian said she's
Ambivert.
ambivert. Yep. It's pretty common. It's more common probably than people think. So I have another question. How do you know if you have a good friend? Like I know that there are different standards or different characteristics that you look for in different people. So you can't like really give a cut, dry, this is what I look for because it might depend, but just kind of, just in case somebody's wondering, like, what are attributes? That's a good one. What are attributes that maybe you would look for in a good friend? If you could pick the perfect good friend, let's just do that. If you could pick the perfect good friend, what type of character would they have? What type of personality? What type of
So, of course, we know there are no perfect good friends,
yeah, we're
number
just making them
1,
up. Yeah.
in our little world here today. So, what I can do is talk about attributes that I love from the friends that I have. And
Okay.
it may be from different friends. Different friends have different attributes. And I don't necessarily look for anything specific when um because I don't look for friends. They just happen. And for me, they do.
Yeah.
And then, it depends on that person. I am Andrea will tell you, geeky girl.
Andrea, that's right. Mhm.
I have like an entourage of friends. And
Yes.
and and it's and they all are kind of like in different categories, and they've been my friend for X amount of time, and I'm constantly making new friends. Since I moved to Florida, I've already made a friend,
Yeah, I believe it.
and I'm very serious. A
Yes.
a very unlikely friend, um, and I say that because I we just wandered into this, bar, hatchet throwing, they have billiards and everything, and so we just wandered in there because we're new and we wanted to see what was going on. And the owner, the husband and wife were there, and we stopped in and we're like, "Hey, we're new to the neighborhood. We just wanted to come in and see what was going on in here." And they were like, "Oh, welcome to the neighborhood," and blah blah blah. And somehow or another, we got on Halloween, which my family knows is one of my favorite holidays. And, so she said, "Well, yeah, I was thinking, I don't know if I'll do a trail this year." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you have to do a trail." So I'm like all animated and excited. And I give her this idea, let's do the freaky circus. And yeah, we could get this. And I'm like, did you watch American Horror Story when they did the circus thing? I mean, it was like, so we went on and on and on. And I'm telling you right now, she's doing the freaky circus trail. I helped her. I took her shopping because she couldn't drive, for medical reasons. So I took her shopping a couple of times, helped her pick out things for the trail, different we did apples, we got fake worms, and she I helped her with what I could. But the fact was is that I helped her and I kept showing up. Because for me, when I say, "Oh, I'm gonna help you do something," I'm committed. I
Mhm.
have a huge sense of loyalty. That's just me. And she wanted me to be a character, and I'm like, "No, I don't think I can be out," because it's like, outside and it's near a pond and they got alligators in the pond, and I'm like, "Yeah, no."
Mm.
But it's cool. I know it's weird, but,
It's just the
yeah,
alligator
so
thing for me.
yeah,
I know this
well,
might take it to another note, but I saw this guy, I think he was in Florida, and he discovered it was either a 14 or 15-foot alligator. It was in the like the drain. And I just thought, oh my gosh.
yeah, I don't know, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I'm just
it was
saying.
scary. I was like, is that a baby dinosaur? Like, what are we doing with this?
Yeah, loyalty is number
Loyalty is number
1.
one. But you know what? So okay,
So
butter roll.
yeah,
Go
I'm sorry, I digressed. But
ahead.
I wanted to share that example because, um, I do have friends, and I constantly make friends. Like, if
Mhm.
all of
Yep.
the people that were my friends came to my funeral service, it would be packed,
Yes,
literally.
because you
People
had
that have crossed my path. We may not even talk anymore, but we're still considered friends. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You have never forgotten that person for whatever role they played in your life at that time. So now I look for loyalty. Loyalty is number one, someone
Yeah,
said.
Trish.
Yes, because I do not have on my reading glasses because I'm trying to be cute. So I can't see who said. I just see loyalty.
Loyalty,
So
loyalty. Trish has a
I'm
good
trying to
list
be
of
cute.
people.
Leave me alone.
Yeah,
So yes,
I'll put it
yes.
up. I'm
Loy-
sorry, Trish. I almost forgot that I could do that, you all. I'm so sorry. Unconditional love and respect can have tough conversations and still be close friends. Someone kind with a
there we
conscience,
go.
loyal, things in common. Those are some characteristics I look for. And that's a very good
That's
list.
exactly correct. I was just going to say that because I need my friends to be able to be honest with me, and the ones that I have and that I have had for years do that. And sometimes we get into it, but it doesn't stop us. It doesn't inhibit the love and the loyalty. And we could have an argument and be like, yeah, she made me mad, blah, blah, blah. And we might not even talk for a month. But trust me, we're going to end up talking again. Or if I call and I said, I need you, and I'm crying, they're gonna be like, yeah, what? You didn't need me yesterday. No, they're gonna be like, what's wrong? Like, so yeah, definitely everything that Trish said. You know what? I need to put on my glasses.
Yeah,
I just can't. I'm
I know.
sorry, y'all.
Trish said
Geeky
unconditional love.
girl.
Yeah, I have some in here too. Mine are prescription, but I was trying to find. But unconditional love and respect can have tough conversations and still be close friends. That's the part I like. I
Yes,
am like you. I love an honest person, and I know that
because we
I feel
talked
like
about that last time.
exactly. We talked about that last time, and we even talked about me not hitting the bug off the man. But some people kind of touchy. That's I thought about it, and also my daughter was discouraging me, like, "Don't do it. You're gonna embarrass him." But
I know you were not listening to her.
I was. You're gonna be so embarrassing, mom. Don't do
you
that. You're gonna
you the
embarrass
one
him.
supposed to know better. No,
I
no, no,
know,
no.
but that's okay. You all, if you want to hear what I did and did not do, go to the video before the live before this, and you're gonna find out. And trust and believe me, the next time because they laid into me, Star and the chat. By the way, where is Tim?
I
Where she?
did. I did.
And I already felt bad, but just go to it and you'll see what we're talking about. Because I want to talk about this because I know we have limited time. So
Yeah.
loyalty definitely.
But I will say this, and I'm, cutting across you again because I'm rude.
No,
But
it's all about
I
you.
I will
You
say this. There are certain characteristics that draw me to people. I'm a person that loves to laugh. Like my girlfriend came to visit me. She brought me a towel that I will have framed, a dish towel that,
okay?
is for the kitchen. And it says, "Sometimes I laugh so hard, tears roll down my legs."
D-
Now, my
we-
now, geeky girl Andrea is laughing because this is true. I own it. Okay. I'm Captain PP. If I laugh too hard, I'm gonna pee my pants. If I'm comfortable enough to say this live,
Now
I mean,
you
it
know
just
she's
it just is what it is. I'm
yeah.
sorry. And I've always been like that. People, because some lady said, well, that happens when you get to be a certain age. I'm like, lady, I've been peeing my pants since I was little. If I laugh, if I'm tickled, if I laugh too hard, that old lady stuff is if you sneeze, then a little bit comes out. That's no.
Or after you have a
I
kid,
Oh my God, yeah,
after
that
this is another
that
conversation
that
we
right
always
there.
have one day. After you have babies, you might feel a little bit of
Yeah,
trigger now. You
it's a wrap. So, but I've always been like that. I mean, I remember laughing, my brothers imitating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it was so funny to me. I was just laid out on the kitchen floor and I was like, please stop. I cannot hold my water. I'm laughing so hard. And I literally peed on the kitchen floor. And my mother said, y'all done made that girl pee again. I mean,
oh
so
Lord.
when she got that towel for me, it was everything. I literally passed out. I'm like, you trying to make me do it again? Seriously.
And they probably did it just to get a good laugh anyway. Well,
But
I know the brothers that you're
it's so
referring to.
classic. I'm not ever going to use that. I'm putting it in a frame and hanging it on the wall. Because everybody knows I'm Captain PP.
Yeah, Captain PP. So Captain PP, let me ask you a question because I can't laugh because I experienced that after I had children. I don't do it
Oh,
now
I
that
ain't
I'm
had nothing. I was still peeing.
okay. See, we're okay.
Before the children that I had, it was like,
Before the
yeah,
two, this is
yeah.
something I thought about yesterday. Late, well, actually, it was early this morning. It was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I know this word, and I thought about it because I heard somebody saying it in their live. They were talking about vulnerability. Well, not necessarily talking about vulnerability. The word vulnerability came up, and it made me think about this because the person was saying that they don't like the word vulnerability, and I could understand why they said that because vulnerability is you literally just kind of putting things out there and exposing yourself, um, and talking about things that may be comfortable, may be uncomfortable for you. So I bring up vulnerability because you're being vulnerable right now. And do you think that
Th-
that's something that you like to have in a friend, somebody who's vulnerable and able
yes.
to share things with
Well,
you?
people don't like that word because to them it's synonymous with weakness. Just like the word submission. They don't like the word submission because to them it's synonymous with weakness.
Yes.
Vulnerability does not necessarily make you a weak person,
Right.
and neither does
You
submission.
are still on my head right now. I'm just going to tell you that.
Vulnerability in this sense is more so synonymous with transparency,
Hmm.
and transparency makes us stronger.
Oh, you should stop because I definitely want to talk about
I
this
should
another.
stop.
I
Okay.
had this written down for another day, and I know it's my fault. I'm sorry, everybody, but I did want you to kind of tiptoe on vulnerability because I do want to talk about it at a later date. But
Okay.
if you can go ahead and continue. I'm sorry because I know
No,
we can.
no, it's fine. I'm just saying that I know why people don't like those words.
Mhm.
And because, society vulnerability, they think it's also synonymous with gullible, being
Yes,
gullible.
yes,
Nah, what you're talking about is again more so transparency.
mercy.
And when people are transparent with each other, it makes you stronger. Think about it. If you see a woman and that she's not feeling well and she says to you, I'm not feeling well because I have XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, "Oh my god, I had that problem too before. And this
Hmm.
is what I did and it helped me." So sometimes the transparency will give you access to information that you may never have gotten because you were transparent instead
Right.
of saying, "How are you today?" "Oh, I'm fine." "No, I'm sick."
Yes.
And this is what's wrong with me. I don't feel good. And
Yeah.
I did that yesterday at my 40 plus double dutch meetup. And yes,
Ooh.
I'm a part of the 40 plus double dutch team group. And I was but I didn't really have to. I've been meeting up with these ladies now for probably about 2, 3 months, and they just knew. As soon as I got out of the car, they're like, "Are you okay?"
Mhm. There we
Friends.
go again with we talked about this in the last live too, how our faces tell everything.
But
Hmm.
there's another example of how I've met friends. Now I've got a whole boatload of friends that I meet up with and play outside with like I'm a little girl
Yes.
every week.
Yeah, and I think
So,
that I think you kind of touched on it the last live too, how as an adult we kind of lose that a little bit.
you
Children,
lose it
yeah, and
because of life experience, because of hurt,
mhm,
because of pain, because of disappointment. Then we start to do that Cancerian, I'm going to go back in my shell
yeah,
and I'm
definitely.
going to yeah,
Well, we put up a wall for those of us that are not,
yeah,
Cancers. Um, I'm a Pisces, but it's very easy to put up that wall, which would lead
it's
me to
easy to put up the wall.
yeah. So that would lead me to another question. When you put up walls and you're trying to make friends, because I know that sometimes baggage comes along from experiences that you've had. and I'm not even saying you specifically, I just want you to speak to this when I say it. So sometimes people put up walls. Can you give somebody a tip on how, you've defeated some of those things? Like maybe you went through, you had a painful experience with a friend, and um, what's a way that if you've had a painful experience with a friend or you were not able to trust them, what's another way to build trust back up with that particular person, or just in people in general? And maybe this may or may not be a question you can
Ah.
answer. Is it complex?
Well, no, it's not complex. It's just that I play a very different game when it comes to people. A lot of times people will say, sorry, hold on.
Go ahead. Yeah, and I'm sorry. Excuse me if hopefully you all are understanding the questions I'm asking, because I'm thinking about it as we're talking, trying to
Yeah,
process.
no, sometimes um people people are going to be people, number 1. And you end up hurting yourself if you put up such walls. It's like if someone did something to you and now you're concerned that everybody, now it brings on a certain level of paranoia. And you know, you can't flourish. You can't move forward in life, in your own life. You don't win, they win. This is a conversation that I had when I met my husband. If somebody hurt you, learn from it. Learn what not to do, learn what red flags to look for, but don't put up walls and erect walls around yourself because you keep the good people from coming in. Good evening. You
I
keep
know.
the
Can
good
you,
people from coming in. You know what I'm saying? People do that, and I ain't no never gonna do that to me, and they ain't gonna hurt me no more. That's true, but you can't erect walls. You cannot erect emotional walls. You have to be vigilant and learn from what you mistake you made or whatever the case may be in trusting people. It's never a mistake when someone does something to you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that they disappointed you. It's not your fault that they dotted your I. It's not unless you dotted theirs first, but that's that's a topic from the book too. But
does it?
anyway, it's not. And when people put up these walls, they erect these emotional walls, they shut themselves out from so many other blessings that, and then it causes a whole bunch of other problems. Anyway.
So let me ask you another question, because you just said something that kind of struck something. So forgiveness. Sounds like you believe in forgiveness. Do you? And can
Very
you
much so.
elaborate on it?
I have to. Forgiveness is for yourself. It's not for the other person. It's for you. When you forgive, it's a release. Now, I didn't say nothing about forget. Okay? I don't
Mhm.
forget anything. It's in there. I remember.
There's a difference.
But I forgive you and I'm able to move on. Now, am I going to be gullible and allow you to place me in that position again or do the same thing to me again? No, I'm not going to do that. You know, that's where you have to take control of the situation for yourself. But I think forgiveness is very necessary.
Mhm.
And that's how you got friends. I mean, you think that with all these friends that I have, even the long-term friends that I consider very close friends, you think that they haven't said things to me or done things to me or, maybe I've done something to them. Sometimes people do because we're human
With
and
people.
you don't know, right. And
Mhm.
you have to learn how to meet people where they are.
Mhm.
So when you said, is it complicated? Not really, not for me. This is how I conduct myself and how I control myself. When I have a friend and they do something and it depends on what they do,
Yeah.
my friendship is like a chessboard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
move people away. And the only time I move you off that board is if you have done something completely and utterly egregious. Now you're toxic. I can't I have no use for you anymore.
Yeah, you said a lot. I was just thinking about, you know how some people say the cutoff game is really
Yeah, that
strong.
cutoff game is really
Cutoff
strong.
game is really strong, and I can understand that because
Yeah,
sometimes,
you can.
oh yeah,
Because you cut some off.
you all, it's a backstory to that because I don't know, and I'm gonna say this for the people in the chat who don't know me, who don't understand what she's saying. She knows because she knows me, and some of you, Jamie, and some of you all in there have a good idea of who I am. But I used to always look at you and my sister, who's on the thumbnail, who's not able to be here. She had an emergency, but I used to look at the both of them all the time, like, man, why can't I be more like that? But I realized I can only be myself, and I can only do things the way that I do it. And as long as I wasn't being, I never like, I never plot against people. I'm not malicious. And the things that happened in my previous relationships, the ones that I cut off, it was because something was done to me, and I had no problem cutting them off. I mean, it was almost just like instant. And with me, I like to talk about it first because I just like to see what that person's mind is. But in a lot of the cases, it didn't require a conversation because you did something. I caught you in the act doing it, and I had proof, and it was a confirmation, and that was enough for me. And I was just like, done. Because my thought was, if you could do that to me, you could who knows what else you do. And also, I forgive people. I am a person that forgives. I understand forgiveness. I
I just
agree
don't
with
deal
them.
with you no more.
I know,
Because my
and
patience is thin as rice paper walls.
it's thin, and I realized with the type of personality I have, and I always used to wonder, like, why didn't it bother me when I cut people off? Like, I could literally,
You are totally unbothered.
I'm unbothered. It does, and I'm like, people are like, man, my feelings
I
are.
ain't never got to hear from them again. That's you.
Yes, I
That's
never
just
had to hear
you.
from them again, and it's crazy because I could see the person on the street a week later, and if they say hi, I would say, hey, how you doing? But keep going. It didn't bother me. It still doesn't bother me. Like the people that I've cut off and that are no longer in my life, they could come right up to my, no, they could not come up to my door. Let me change that. I could walk past them in a grocery store or my hometown, wherever I am, and I would literally say, hey, how you doing? That would be the extent of the conversation, and I would keep it moving after that. But I hold no unforgiveness in my heart. I just don't deal with you anymore.
Well,
And it
there's
does
a
not bother
reason why the chessboard is in operation the way that it is. I refer to it as a chessboard
me. Yeah.
because in chess, the pieces are strategically placed, and that's what I end up doing.
Yeah.
People, that are close to me, that have shown me loyalty, that have shown me friendship and devotion and compassion and, love, they're closest to me. I'm the queen of my board,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
And right. And so those that have not, they may have end up being a pawn, or they, what to do with pawns. If anybody plays chess, they're out on the front line,
I know
you
nothing
know.
about this.
Okay, well, that's the way it is. They have different ranks. So basically, I don't, and I'm going back to the regular conversation because now we all have the chessboard up in
Yeah,
my head.
yeah,
But but I don't really, like I said, for me to cut someone off like that, they have to have done something completely and utterly egregious. And I do mean, because you know me, my patience is long,
yeah.
very long.
Very long.
Um, it's a little bit thinner since I've gotten older. But as far as with people are concerned, and the reason why I don't do that is because for me, I never know what I might need from them.
Yeah.
I never know how they may be able to help me. And we've had this conversation because my husband is the same way. He's like, cut you off. And I'm like,
Done. I just,
I may need something. I don't need nothing from them. I don't know what I might need.
yeah. I don't
They
know, but I just prefer not to even deal with that person.
and
Now,
that's the way he is. He
I
does
just prefer
not want.
not to deal with them. But I will say that I know God, is a healer, and He can change things and make, change people and change their heart and all that. So if you were to come with me and then say there was somebody that I cut off, and then they just, I was around them for whatever reason. I've never been in a situation where I've been around, had to be around somebody that I no longer talk to. Like I just I'm done and I'm done. That's it. So if I were in a situation and I saw that they were a changed person and making an effort, I would probably, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm guessing I would. I don't know because I've never had this happen, but maybe I would slowly creep and tiptoe back in. But I'll be watching you. Like I'll be there. Remember that I am watching you. My eyes are completely on that
I'm
target.
gonna
And
take you down to Chinatown.
I'm gonna take you down to Chinatown because you are not going to do that again to me, whatever it is that you did.
Oh God,
So
no.
I have a question. I know it's 6:41. Hey, we're moving along. So all right. Somebody listening to this video may say, I'm an introvert. I don't know how to make friends. And you said earlier just to, give them a little smile or you can
That
strike up a
works.
conversation. I noticed that a lot of times you have more things in common with people. I've met people here on YouTube and social media, and I'm like, wow, okay, we have something in common. So you're able to strike up a conversation. Would you suggest that if somebody is having some difficulty making friends or, you know, um, being a friend to somebody, because we said earlier too, if you want friends, show yourself friendly. And I'm probably answering the question right now. Would you just suggest that that's something that they do? That I've already answered it. Let's move on
Well,
to the
I
next
mean, for if you are a person that's
one.
having difficulty making friends, maybe you should look at yourself and ask yourself why. Is it because you're not friendly? I mean, if you walk around with a mug on your face, I wouldn't say nothing to you neither.
So you saying take a self evaluation and
Take
see.
a self evaluation if you're having difficulty making friends, or maybe you're not in a friendly environment.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe you need to put yourself in a friendly environment. Me coming down here and because I was a part of the 40 plus double dutch club before I moved to Florida.
mm-hmm,
And I was in a sub club there in Maryland. And I had to say goodbye to my Maryland friends. And guess what? I still talk to those people.
mm.
I still do. That's me. This
Yeah,
is now geeky girl Andrea would be like, "Yeah, I knew them back then and that was cool." I'm still on their chat. I still pop in and say hi sometimes. "Hey y'all, miss you." Like, "Hey, we miss you too." That's me.
yeah, that's right.
I come down here to this area and met a whole nother group of women in Tampa. And let me tell you, it's phenomenal. I now have a whole nother group set of friends.
Yeah,
And yeah, and they celebrate me. And, I told them about, me booking something and they were like, yay. And, we just,
that's some.
it's just wonderful.
Yeah,
So you should it's not hard to find friends. I don't that's very difficult for me to understand when people say because my
yeah,
husband is not a person that has a lot of friends, but he does have friends.
yeah.
And he's a friendly person,
I'm the
but
same way.
he just chooses not to allow a lot of people in his intimate circle. So
Keep it simple.
it depends on what you want.
Yeah,
I'm a social butterfly.
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, you know what? I'm weird in the sense where I have like just a couple friends, maybe a couple I can count on one hand. And I realized something about me. My friends would have to be very flexible because I feel like I'm always kind of being stretched in different places. So the friend that I do have is very flexible, very understanding of my schedule. So I'm saying all this to go into this list that I kind of compiled, and I know it's 6:44, so we have about 15 minutes. And I just wanted to see if you all agree with this list and if you have anything that you add to this list, because I do understand there are people who are looking for good friends out here and may not know what to look for, how to find them. And again, we said earlier, it just depends on the person. So while I'm going to give you a generic list to just kind of help somebody out who may be looking for that, also you just kind of use discernment and discretion. It depends on how you feel when you're in the environment with that person. But I just wanted to get a list, and then I want to do like a ask you
Don't
a couple of
float over
questions.
discernment.
Oh,
Do not
discernment.
float over discernment because that is very important. Discernment. And you may say, what is discernment? I don't have discernment. Yes, you do. It's your inner man. Everybody has discernment. the spirit that lives within you, your inner man.
You
And
know,
when your inner man says, hmm, that person may not be good for me, you might need to listen to that.
listen,
You know what I mean? Don't pick it.
yeah.
Just be still and listen. It will speak to you. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I just didn't
No,
want you to
no,
float
no.
over. I
Let
just
me
didn't
just
want you to float over discernment
no, no.
because
I'm glad you came back. I'm glad you brought me back because that's a very
discernment has saved my life.
yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Literally.
really important. It definitely should not be floated over because if you ignore that, and let's say you continue on with that friend, and some people here or who's listening may have even experienced this, like that little voice that she's talking about inside you that says, don't do it," and then you do it anyway. You
It's the
do
same
that
voice
person.
that tells you don't walk down that dark alley by yourself. That's
That's a
the
good
same
example. So
voice.
people will know that voice when they hear it, that same
It's the
voice that
same
says,
voice. That
"Yeah,
might not be a good idea.
right, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Don't
Listen.
do it." Right? Yeah, you're right. And then later on, you're like, man, I knew. Those are a lot of the situations. You're like, man, I knew I should have done that, or I knew I
Hmm.
should have listened. So
If
it's
you
just
live
like,
to tell the tale.
if you let it tell, listen to that voice. So I
I'm
kind
sorry,
of,
it's Halloween. Ooh.
whoa, and that's funny. I'm sorry. I'm looking at how my hair is blending into the black background because it's so dark in here now. But hopefully, it's not a distraction to everybody. It looks kind of weird to me.
Oh, stop.
So here's the list, and I want you all to tell me, put your thumbs up if you agree with it, and put if you think you would add something to this list of things. We'll just call it a list of what you would look for in a real friend, quote unquote real friend. And this is just my interpretation, some words that I came up with. So feel free to add to the list, Black Mermaid, or people in the chat, because I don't know it all. I know I don't. So I'm just trying to think about the bare minimum. So I thought real friends are trustworthy and loyal. That's what I think. And then I said supportive, non judgmental, but sometimes non judgmental can be a gray area. Like you might feel like they're being judgmental, but really, I think a real friend is going to tell you something in honesty that's going to help you out. You may perceive it at the moment to be a little bit judgmental. Hey, Nikki, how you doing? And then I said quality time. They might want to spend quality time with you. You might not have a lot of it because life is life and we all have things to do. So that's why I said my friend would have to be very flexible because I feel like my quality time is like,
And
I don't have.
everybody's not multitasking. I'm a person that can do like 5 or 6 things at the same time. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I,
And it just depends on
like
the
I
person.
literally would have been watching the football game while we were doing this live,
Yes. And she
but I
stopped to let me
decided
know.
not to.
Yes, ask her what her team is.
No, I would have been watching the football game on my phone. But I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. I
Yeah.
do
So they,
that. I do that sometimes.
yeah,
I
she
watch the
did.
football game while I'm jumping double dutch.
See, and to the
Like I have it on my phone.
has the rope ever hit you in the face? That's what we want to know because I've jumped double dutch with you before, and it's kind of. I mean, it's been a minute, but
Now the rope not hitting me in the
you hit
face.
me in the face. So you're a master. You're
Something's
the
wrong
40
with
and over. You got it on lockdown with the jumping. Multitasking queen. That's Nikki.
Yes, there we
So
go.
honesty, I have it for number five, but that's really my number one because that would, like kind of um,
Yeah,
not cancel out.
honesty.
Yeah, if you're honesty, yep, honesty is the best quality. Reliability, can I rely on you? And I'm not saying,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
yeah, that person doesn't have to be there for me at every event because I understand they have a life, they have things going on. But are you reliable? Like, can I come to you with things? Can I count on
Yeah.
you?
And different
And
people can contribute. This is why, and ironically, you've never heard me say this entire broadcast that I have a best friend. I don't have a best friend.
oh, that was one of the questions I was going to ask, but but you answered it. You don't have a best friend, so that
No,
means
I don't because when I was younger, I thought I had a best friend and she disappeared and I didn't hear from her for years and we kind of got lost and life went on and then we finally found each other and we were two totally different people. Like the bond was broken and we
Mhm.
tried to, reattach it, but it just isn't the same. Now, is she a friend of mine? Heck yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Let me talk about the reverse in the situation. That happens, but also have you ever had, and I know the answer to this question, a situation where you can go for like years or months or weeks from talk and you're not talking to that particular friend, but then you pick up the phone and you're like, hey, how you doing? They're like, hey, and it's like you never missed a beat
I do it
with
all
some
the time.
yeah.
And
So
these people, I still, if someone asks me, "Oh, do you know such and such? Do you know Lollipop Jones?" I know Lollipop Jones. Me and Lollipop Jones go way back. I ain't spoke to Lollipop in a long time, but here's Lollipop. I'd be like, "What's up, Lollipop?" I
hey
mean,
girl. Yeah,
that's me. I I meet people where they are, and I
yeah.
allow them to give me what they have to give. And I appreciate whatever it is that they have to give. And I think that's probably, as you say, what makes me a good friend. Like, I don't expect people to be like me. You ain't me.
You
I'm
ain't me.
me.
She, her, I'm me, you all are you. Don't even try to be
You,
anybody.
you. You
I
have
don't even
things that I wish I could, but I ain't that. That ain't me.
I ain't that. I just started thinking, I feel like this. God gave me what I need to be Andrea. And
Yes.
that's the only person I can be. So those of you out there who are trying to be somebody else, stop. Just don't do it.
And
Just be yourself.
everyday life just said, I receive different things from different people.
Yeah,
That's how your pie becomes a whole pie.
yeah.
I know who to call when I'm just like, okay, I'm married to this man. Why? I know who to pick up the phone to call. That's just an
Yeah,
example. Or I
yeah,
know who
yeah.
to pick up the phone to call and say, I'm mad at my mama. I know not to call, Milk Dud, because Milk Dud is not good in that in
I
in
like
that
these
is.
specific
Well,
names.
I
Yeah.
you know what? Because I've been on this.
Applehead.
Yeah, I've
We
been
can
on
just
this
call Applehead.
candy. Well, I don't want to call names. You call names and bear no blame. But I'm just saying, you know who to call when you need to discuss whatever it is that you need help with.
Yeah.
And you get the advice or the support that you knew you could get from that person. So yes, everyday life, you receive different things from different people.
Milk Dud is
You
milk.
know what?
See,
I keep eating Milk Duds, honey.
Milk Dud is
I'm just gonna be transparent. Like I got a box of Milk Duds in the closet right now. Lord
and see,
Jesus, help
you
me.
can't call Milk Dud when you're supposed to call Applehead because they
Right,
do
you
different
can't
things.
call Milk Dud when you need Gummy Bear,
That's right. And you can't call Gummy Bear when you need Sour Patch Kids.
and this is why I'm saying, I'm just saying. So allow people to give you what they have to give, and
And
appreciate them for that. They'll do
yes.
the same thing to you. They
Right.
don't always call you. But
Mhm.
people call me all the time.
Yeah. I forgot to add this to my list of what makes a real friend a real friend. And I know we talked about it, but I just want to make sure it's clear. I think what will also make a real friend is somebody that allows you to be yourself. Like they're not trying to make you become somebody else. They're not trying to tell you how to be. They just accept you. Like you said, you meet people where they are. So to be accepting, yes. Nikki,
Call
just know who to call. You better call
them.
Tyrone.
Call 'em.
So it's 6:54, and I wanted to ask you a couple questions before we go, just so the people can know who you are, who they're dealing with. So this is one question. I'm just
This
going to think
ain't
over.
about me. Let's talk
It is
about
about
when we can do this more often. Is
you,
this a
my
good
girl.
time for everyone?
Yes, everybody. So I'm thinking 6 p.m. on a Sunday. Let me know if that's a good time
Because
for you all because
what we want to do is we want to get Geeky Girl Andrea help her to get on a regular schedule. We want to be friends to her, and we want to help try to. I know, fix your face, fix your fix your face.
it's
We
that
wa-
face.
we want to help her to get on a regular schedule so that she
We
can
need the
get
blood
more
Jesus.
view. I know, but
We need the good Lord Jesus.
we
Nikki
gonna help
pray.
you. We gonna
Every
help you.
Nikki, Lashes, Tamika, everybody. Send a prayer. We need to pray. We got to pray just to make it today.
I
That's what I'm
watched
gonna
that the other day too, the
did
Hammers,
you?
MC Hammers.
I'm so off task. I'm sorry, y'all, but you know how I get. Okay, so let me
So,
ask
yeah,
you.
is this a good time?
It appears to be today, and
Even
I'm
though it's cutting in on my football. Y'all
yeah,
already know I
it's
love
okay
football.
to be the boss. We might have to make an
But I can
exception.
always watch football on my
You
phone.
can you can you can you can cut your eye over there every now and then and take a little peepsy peep because if I
As long as
can,
my team ain't playing.
I'm just gonna pray about it. I'm just gonna ask the good Lord Jesus because I'm saying 6. I set another live for next week, you all, at 6 o'clock. So try to join us next week, same
Yeah, I
time,
was
same place.
yeah.
6. I know I need to be more consistent, so I'm working on it. It's the prayers of the righteous avail as much. So pray for
Yes,
yeah,
honey,
pray
yes.
for honey.
I
And
am
you
a football fanatic.
yes, she is. Not I know nothing about football except for touchdown, and I know they run, and that's enough for me. And I just kind of get on my husband's
We
nerves. I
gonna
ask,
change that.
yeah, she has
Anyway,
sons that play. So anyway, I know I digress again. But I wanted to get into the speed round, and I want to thank everybody for coming because I got to say thank you. It's gratitude over here. So I'm gonna ask you like 3 questions, maybe if I can think of some. So the first question: would you prefer to be in a friend group or would you prefer friends or does it just depend? Like, do you prefer to be just like say you're hanging, say you all right, say you're in a mood and you're like, hey, I just want to hang out with a friend or my friends. Would you call one friend or would you like say, hey, let's do a group thing? What would be your first?
oh,
And I
you
got
know me. I like I'm like the dude on float on. Cancer. I love everything and everybody. I
everybody.
I I don't mind. I can have a good time with one person just as I can have a good time with 20.
Mid 20.
That's
Okay,
me.
I knew the answer to that question. I must admit, but I had to
That's
ask it
me.
anyway because the people want to know. All right, another question. What's your favorite food? I know it's common. What's your favorite food?
Girl, bye. Seafood.
Everybody.
I'm a
She loves
mermaid.
I don't like seafood. And she used to get these crabs, you all, and just crack
I
them in.
love seafood.
And they had stuff in it that I thought was poop, but later on she told me it was mustard. Like when I was like, ew, oh, what? It just looks
Well,
like
it's kind of poop.
it's a poop and mustard. Nikki, you might know about this. You from Maryland? But it's like a poop and a mustard, and it just
Listen, I love seafood. I'm a mermaid.
oh, are you floating now?
I'm showing
Mermaid.
my tail.
Oh, she's a
Anyway,
mermaid. You all. Black mermaid. Okay, so also
yes, that's it.
and
Crabs,
that's Nikki. Nikki's in.
crabs,
So
crayfish, all that. Yes.
all of that. Another question. So we're talking about friends and good friends, and I know it's 2 minutes to 7 o'clock. Good friends. So I thought it would be fun for you to think of a song that's talking about friends.
Oh my
Pick
gosh. In a good way or a bad way?
it. You pick. No stipulations. Whatever you
Me?
want.
No, I mean, I could sit here and name a ton of songs about friends. I'm like, friends, how many of us have
You
them?
know
And
what's funny? That's the same one that came to my
that's
mind.
why I said,
And
is it a good way or a bad way? And what about your friend? I mean, you
yeah,
know,
okay, you guys, I'm doing this because those are the first 2 songs I thought about. The first two, and it's so crazy. I thought about
well,
that.
there it is. It's in the
What
DNA.
about your friend?
Touchdown.
I'm gonna be on down. So there we go. Those are the songs for friends. And if you can think of another one, hey, you all put your favorite friend song in the chat section. And oh, TLC, what about your friends, Nikki? Hey, Brand. So one more question. Let me see. What's your favorite color?
Oh my gosh. I think that's kind of obvious.
For me, you
Black
guys
and
see
purple.
black and purple, black and purple, black and purple.
Black
And
and
who's your
purple.
and you said you like football.
Yes.
Who's your favorite team?
The Ravens. But I like black and purple before the Ravens. So I'm just
Yeah,
letting y'all know. I was a
yeah.
black and purple person before the Ravens.
Of course she was. She loves Prince or did. It was just a Prince.
Yes, I do.
See, I told you. Well, purple rain. I don't even want to sing. Okay, so do you have any closing remarks? Anything you'd like to say to the people before we have to step out of here?
No, so we were talking about being friends, and I just want to, rewrap and say that let's be friends to Geeky Girl Andrea. She's doing a phenomenal job. I really like Okay,
Yes,
I'll go for that, I'll go for that. Commander's doing pretty good, though. They doing pretty good. Um, she let's be a friend to her and help her on this journey, because we all have to lift each other up. And, I told her I would be happy to co-host however many shows she wants to, um, and we can do that because we need
thank
that's
you.
what friends do.
That's
They
what friends
help each
do.
other. We
Lord,
lift each other up. We
lift
support each other.
and support each
And so that's why I wanted to know if now we too crunk
Yes.
we too crunk
Brand,
and we
brand.
ain't had no type of substances. This how we act.
None, none.
Imagine what it's like with substances.
Hey, Drea Lachey. Drea, so she couldn't make it today. Adrian couldn't make it, you all, but she'll be here at the next one, and then you'll see all three of us crunked up. So thank you all. I just if Black Mermaid was finished, I want to let you have the last words before I close. If you have anything
No, no,
else
I
to say.
just I just want us to try to us, and I say us because this is everybody that's participating to try to, yeah, the natural high, to try to support Geeky Girl and help her to come up with a regular time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
I'm
so
going to be very
everybody can
fun.
come.
Yes. It's so funny when I see my name over there in the chat. We have another Drea. Drea. She has the same name, Drea.
Oh,
Drea.
what? Wait, wait, wait.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
Drago? I
Yeah.
can't take but one Drago. I'm
I know.
sorry.
Yeah, you know what? My husband was saying it the
No,
other day
I'm
because I
joking.
was doing something to it was my niece, and he was like, "You just sometimes you just too much." I was like, "I gotta be me. Like, what? Who else can I be?" He was like, "Sometimes you can be a bit much, but I can be, and
A
it's okay."
geeky girl. OG.
Oh, gee, yes, Brand. So thank you all for coming in. Black Mermaid, you already know. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in and making this a little lighter, a lot lighter. And everybody in the chat section, thank you so much. Yes, Name Twin, yay! So thank you all for coming in. I appreciate it. I could stay here and chit chat with you all day long, but I actually have to get on the road. I had to drive. I got to go out of state real quick. So I need to say
You
goodbye.
gotta go.
I got to go. You ladies do y'all thing. I just was passing through to pay my respects. Thank you so much, Brand, for coming in.
Cause he going back to watch the football game just like me.
Ooh, I won't be watching football, but for you all
I
that watch,
will.
because I know you do, and a lot of people over here do. Nikki, Unique, hey Unique, oh my God, hi, how you doing?
Bye.
So Unique, I hope you're well. Everybody, I hope everybody is well. And listen, everybody, today is Sunday. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and you all will see me again. I have another live scheduled for next week. So let's just pray again. If you want somebody to pray for Geeky Girls, pray for me, pray for Star, pray for all of us. I'll be praying for you all too, but we're gonna ask the good Lord Jesus to get me on a regular schedule because He's the only one that can probably do it right
Do it. Do it,
now.
Lord. Do it.
Do it, Lord Jesus. Hey, do it, Jesus. So, like, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you again for coming. I really had a great time in this live, and I can foresee us having more fun in the future. So make sure you put the notification bell on. Make sure you subscribe if you're not a part of Geeky Girls Journal family and all that good stuff. I don't have to say it. Share this out. Do all those wonderful things. And I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for coming in. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. What about your friends?